like that transition, because I'm not doing it again. This was the third time I did this. And the second time, I almost knocked down the tree, which is not good. So, you better be satisfied with how cheesy that intro was. Hello, welcome to the Wild Viewer, and welcome to day 16 of 25 Wild Christmas Review Days. I'm spitting on myself. As you can see, I'm no longer in the basement. I'm now outside of the basement. We got a Christmas tree here. How lovely is that? Today, we got another special one because I'm talking about a film I went completely blind into once again. We have a lot of these in this project where I'm seeing these for the first time, and today's film is one that I should have seen a long time ago, specifically maybe a few years after it came out, because this movie's actually really recent, and I did have the chance to see it last year, and I should have taken that chance, but I missed it. I got the last few minutes of the movie. I literally saw the ending of it. And after that, I just didn't see it again. They just didn't play it on TV. Of course, when I decided to do this project, I scrambled all over the place to try to find it because I got all the movies together so I could check them out. And this was the only film that I could not find. Like, for the longest time, I had trouble finding this film. I found it on YouTube, but I had to pay money to see it. I couldn't get it on demand because I had to pay a lot more money to see it than I had to on YouTube. I tried avoiding spending money to see this film. I already spent money to go see The Grinch, and I gotta save up my money to get things this year because I do have to get gifts, so I'm trying to save everything. But of course, the universe isn't allowing me to do that. Of course, the universe isn't playing this film on TV. It's not on the freeform list for 25 Days of Christmas. It wasn't on the kickoff to Christmas. So, I kind of had no choice. So, I went to a store and I got the movie. I didn't wanna, but now I have it. I own this film now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because this actually was really good. I just didn't really want to buy it. Now I got it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because this has become a classic for me now, so it's not all necessarily bad. This is Arthur Christmas! Released back in 2011, nearly 7 years ago, Arthur Christmas focuses on one of Santa's kids, Arthur. In this movie, the family history of becoming Santa Claus is a big deal. The Santa in this movie is actually known as Santa Claus the 20th. The grandfather in this film was Santa the 19th. Arthur is not next in line to become the new Santa, but rather his older brother Steve is. And Steve is definitely prepared for it. In fact, he's so prepared that he's literally changed the whole operation of the way that Christmas is run. Rather than just having the old classic wooden sleigh be carried by magic flying reindeer to deliver the gifts, there's a whole new operation system that involves calculating numbers and being very slick with making sure nobody sees Santa. I guess to put it into normal understanding terms, you can consider this as if they were all going into battle. They treat it as like they were about to go to war. All the elves who come along on the ride on not the sleigh, but rather a ship called the S1, are all trained to be like military soldiers and make sure that every present makes it to every kid on Christmas morning. Of course, the operation goes very well and everybody celebrates, but it isn't until that the S1 lands back in the North Pole and things start to get cleaned up that one of the elves discovers that one of the presents was not delivered. Everybody, including Arthur, is making a big deal about this, except for Steve, who feels that it's no big deal seeing that they've already had a very successful Christmas, and there's also the argument that there's simply no time between now until the second the sun comes up that they'll be able to deliver that gift without being seen. Arthur objects to that whole idea as he can't bear the thought of a young girl waking up on Christmas morning having the thought that she's the only person in the world that did not get a gift. So now Arthur and his grandpa, who again is Santa Claus the 19th, get in the old classic wooden sleigh and gather up all the reindeer and shoot off into the sky, determined to get this gift to this young girl, making sure that no kid is left behind on Christmas. I'm just gonna get straight to the point. I really enjoyed this film. Like, I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I expected, seeing from what I saw of the trailer that, it was going to be a very funny movie, an enjoyable one. Maybe not much of a heartwarming one, but I was really impressed with everything that I saw. It was funny, there were moments that were making me laugh, and I don't know whether to consider it a moral or like a meaning or something, but I like the whole idea of the story and like Arthur's point of view of Christmas, that every child matters, especially around Christmas. And I get the whole thing with it doesn't matter if Santa Claus the 19th gives the present. It doesn't matter that Steve delivers the present, or Arthur's dad, who was actually Santa, or even the first Santa. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that Santa gives the gift to the child. Because this little child, along with every other person in the world, first off, they don't see Santa, so it's not like it's even gonna matter. They're asleep when he comes. They don't really know that there have been multiple Santas throughout the years carrying on the family legacy, which I guess I should also make a comment on. I really like that whole plot line that the tradition gets passed on every year, because that is something that you really don't think of when it comes to people like Santa. Of course, kids have a lot of questions about Santa Claus. The biggest one that's asked in this movie is, how is he able to deliver all the gifts in just one night? And this obviously answers the question with the whole ship and the elves coming along for the ride and making sure everything goes smoothly. So I mean, that answers that question. But a question that's not asked enough is, how is Santa able to live so long? And I like the idea that Santa is not just this magic being. He's magic, but he also doesn't live forever. So it would make sense for him to have kids, and they would all grow up to follow in their dad's legacy. And I really think that's a clever way of doing it. But again, going back to what I was saying before I got sidetracked, I really like that message that no kid should be left behind. Every kid matters, and that's actually the truth with it. Kids do matter. Their voices matter. Everything about kids matters, especially around Christmas. The design of this movie, the way it was animated, I really liked all the visuals of it. I liked everything about this film. There wasn't one bad thing that I really didn't like. In the beginning, though, of course, I did another one of those don't judge a book by its cover moment, because the first few moments of the film, I did have complaints about, like, okay, I don't know if I like how this Santa Claus is doing things with the whole spaceship and no reindeer, and the elves are trained like this. But as the story goes on, it makes sense to why this is, and we do get a glimpse of the old-fashioned way that, Santa used to do things. He used to have reindeer and traveled in a sleigh, and he used to go down chimneys. He didn't have to break into people's homes using the door or windows by having the elves take it apart. He didn't even have elves travel with him. I got all the points that the grandpa was making. Everything's just like too high advanced now. It used to be so simple back in his day. And at the same time, he was also wrong. Although we felt for this character, there were times where we kind of saw his true colors to see why he's doing what he's doing. And it was at that point where, you transition from liking this character to kind of disagreeing with him and feeling that he's selfish, which plays a really big part in this film, selfishness, especially with, the grandpa and Steve. Everyone is just so selfish on who exactly the main Santa Claus is, which one is the right Santa. And like going back what I said before, it doesn't matter who the main Santa is, because, again, these kids in this film, they don't see Santa. So to them, Santa is just this big, jolly, fat guy in red with white hair that delivers gifts to them. So Santa is merely just whatever the kids imagine them to be. It doesn't matter who exactly is Santa. The point is, there is a Santa, and he cares about all kids. So that's, I don't know if you'd consider that a message or, just the whole idea of the story, if that's what it was going at. But I like that whole plot line of it. I like the funny moments in this film. The pacing of it was really good. The whole climax of the film I enjoyed. I really liked the fact that they kept losing reindeer as time went on. Also, what's pretty interesting is in this film, there's technically a subplot that focuses on the people of the world they're all freaking out because these weird things are happening in the sky, and everyone's convinced that aliens have come down to Earth and are going to ruin Christmas. Which I say is pretty ironic because they only think that because of what they saw with Arthur and the grandpa in the original sleigh with reindeer. And I say that's ironic because they think that's an alien ship, when in actuality the S1 is actually in the form of a ship that you would mistake for a spaceship. But yet nobody's like concerned about that whatsoever. I mean, nobody can really see that ship because they don't see the top of it. The bottom of it like blends in with the sky. But I just found that very interesting that, you know, we actually had a spaceship like object, and yet that's not what's mistaken for a spaceship. So that was pretty interesting. With all that said, I really enjoyed Arthur Christmas. I enjoyed it a bit more than I thought I would. I wouldn't say it became my favorite in the matter of time that I've seen it, but you know, I did enjoy it. Maybe it will become my favorite if I happen to see it again. I mean, I own it now, so if I end up putting it in the DVD player later on in the month and watch it, then, you know, maybe it'll slowly become one of my favorite films along with my other favorites. It's definitely something that I plan on seeing again next year. I think it's slowly going to become one of those films that I end up watching every year and having a bigger appreciation about it. And with that all said, that is all I gotta say about Arthur Christmas. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm glad I finally got to see this film. Now I want to hear what all of you think. Do you like Arthur Christmas? Do you not like it? What is your opinion on the film if you have seen it? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for day 16 of 25 Wild Christmas Review Days. Join me tomorrow as we touch upon a classic film that I know most of your parents have probably grown up with. Or if you're one of those adults watching this that grew up with this, then tomorrow's the video for you. Thanks for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing.